Here we are.
Hello.
We're live.
It's time for Better.
For Better. Yes, it is. And we're Lauren and Joy Hershey coming to you from Asbury, Iowa. Glad to be with you tonight.
Yes.
And I've got a question for you today.
Hi, Sheila.
Hi, Sheila. Oh, I hope Randy's there with you. Today is National Limerick Day. National Limerick Day. You know, those are the type of poems that they go, there was an old lady from Crete, or this and that, the other thing. And they're always 5 lines. Last line 4 and 5, or 3 and 4 have a certain rhythm, and the ends of line 1 and 5 always rhyme. And can't think
Limerick
of it right
Day.
now. And they must be.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda. Limericks must be an Irish thing because I have an Irish background, and some of their humor is a little bit edgy. And all the limericks that I saw, I'm not going to read any of them. Just, they're not very nice. And but some of them are really funny. And I know Randy is he likes limericks, because every now and then he'll post one on Facebook. And then I had a question for you. Here's a quiz time. Iowa Hawkeye basketball player Luka Garza. What nationality is he? What nationality is he? He's one of the top college players in the country this year.
I know I heard too, but it's escaping me at the moment.
Should we let him answer? Somebody's probably Googling it right now.
Patty Flynn might know.
Hey, Patty.
Hi,
What
Patty and
nationality
Mary.
is Luka Garza?
Hi, Jean.
Hey, Mary and Gina there. Good, good, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So what is he?
He is, his dad is an American. And of course he's American now, but his dad is American. His mother was from Herzegovina.
Oh gosh.
Bosnia, Herzegovina in Europe. They both have basketball backgrounds. His dad played college ball here in the States. His mom was a pro in Europe.
Well, I'm glad that they came to the U.S. because he did awesome for the Hawkeyes this year.
He sure did.
So we enjoyed watching him when basketball was still on.
Yep.
And
He did
he's
really well.
going pro, and good for him.
I didn't realize he was 6 feet, 11 inches tall.
Wow.
Very good basketball
Hey,
player.
I hope you guys had a great Mother's Day this weekend. So always great to be celebrated and to celebrate the honor of motherhood. So I hope you guys had a good Mother's Day.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Hey, here's what we're going to talk about tonight. Of course, we're sharing on these casts here for Better. We're sharing some things that we've learned over the years and seen that have been important for us to implement and have helped us in our life from the Lord. And a number of years ago now, hi Peggy, a number of years ago, we came across a concept I first saw it in Dr. Willard Harley's book, His Needs, Her Needs. Dr. Harley was from the Twin Cities and a Christian psychologist and counselor. And he noticed, he brought out this concept, and it's pretty easy to understand. We just simply call it love banks.
Yeah.
Love banks. And it, how in just a natural setting with a bank account, at the bank, you make deposits and you make withdrawals. And you need to keep the balance up to a certain point.
Hopefully you don't make more withdrawals than you have made deposits.
Yes. Like one person said, if your outgo is greater than your income, then your upkeep will be your downfall. And we can apply those things to the emotional side of a marriage relationship. And hi, Jimmy. Glad you're back with us. The emotional side of a marriage relationship. Oftentimes I will say to a couple as we're doing premarital counseling, I'll just mention to them I ask them to tell me about their relationship, because I'll say this, that apparently something is happening here with the two of you that you want to last a lifetime. And they do. And you were saying earlier about a person ought not let their spouse not like them, or you want your spouse to, how did you put that?
Yeah, so the love banks are similar to love languages, but not exactly the same. But love banks are let's see, how can I say this? I thought you were going to describe all this, and I was going to jump in.
All right. Well, I'll get back into it. You want me to? Love banks are in the emotions, in your emotional part of you. When someone does something that makes you feel cared for, causes something on the inside. It causes your emotions, causes you to be drawn to them, causes you to like them.
Right.
To like them.
Right.
And if they do something, hi David, if people do something that makes you hurt, they do things that cause you to not like them, and you're not drawn to them. It's like it's involuntary.
Something that's displeasing to you,
Yeah.
or even it kind of repulses you. It doesn't have to be a huge thing, but sometimes things that people do make us want to kind of stand back from them a little bit. Maybe they have habits or idiosyncrasies that don't please us, and we want to stand back from those. And usually when we're in a romantic relationship, whatever people are doing toward us is not repulsing us, but it's drawing us to them by the way that they're treating us. Little things that they're doing are things that are pleasing to us. Hey, Heidi, and Michael. Hi, guys. So when we're thinking about married couples and love banks, we want to be in a position where we are doing things that keep our spouse's love bank toward us full.
Yeah, we're drawn to people who we feel treat us well.
Yeah.
And we try to avoid people. Our emotions tell us to avoid people who cause us pain.
Yeah.
Or who cause us harm. And it's involuntary. I mean, you don't decide. This is something that you do not decide who you like and who you dislike. You just don't.
So this particular thing we're talking about is based on what they do toward you and just your natural response toward that.
Yes. For instance, if, let's just use it this way, we could say that this is one way to affair-proof your marriage. Let's just say that a husband and wife, in a marriage situation, that the wife, because we've talked about love and respect, that the wife is not respecting the husband. The wife is even saying things disrespectful or treating him like he's a nincompoop. He finds no lift being around her. And then he gets at work, and some lady at work starts to tell him how wonderful he is and how much she admires him and all that sort of stuff. Well, his feelings, he's automatically going to be drawn to her. He may have to resist even being drawn to her. They could get drawn into an affair, and she may be ugly, but it's meeting a need. It's kind of like, I was thinking earlier, it's kind of like we've been told, don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry.
Yeah.
Because if you do, you guys understand this, you go grocery shopping when you're hungry.
That's a problem.
It's a problem. You're gonna be hungry for everything in that store.
Probably gonna come home with a lot of sweets and carbs.
Yep. You're gonna have to consciously resist that pull, those temptations to buy a bunch of stuff or get involved with a bunch of stuff that you really don't even care that much about. But on the other hand, if you eat before you go, you're not vulnerable to that temptation anymore because the need is met.
Yeah.
And so that's some of the things about the love bank. When we're with people who treat us well, it causes us to like them and want to be with them.
Right. And that's probably what drew you to your marriage partner in the first place, is that they were doing things to take care of you, to, doing things that were making them pleasing to you. And when marriages get in trouble sometimes is when spouses quit caring if the other person likes them or not. they stop doing things to try to make the other person like them, and they start doing things to make the other person overlook what they're doing in order to love them. So we don't want to do that. We don't want our spouse to have to be we all have faults. There's nobody perfect. We all have stuff, failures, isms and schisms, I call them.
Hi, Peter.
Everybody, hi, Peter. Everybody's got isms and schisms. Everybody's got stuff. But the things that we can control, the things that we can do to make sure that our spouse is pleased to live with us, we should be doing those things. And sometimes there's simple things, like we were talking about this earlier tonight, and can I just share some personal stuff, I guess, just to try to help you see how simple sometimes it can be. But it makes me like my husband more when he puts on some cologne. I'm a cologne person. I love perfumes and colognes. So I like when my husband wears some cologne. I like when he trims his beard. I like when he has his nose hairs trimmed.
Oh man, she had to go there.
You know, it's like something I don't have to overlook in order to like him, you know? And so sometimes it's simple things like that. Sometimes we put things in the way of one another, with little stumbling blocks, and not even big things, but little things that take little withdrawals out of that love bank. Little things like leaving your shoes in the middle of the room all the time, or you know, you can't put your coffee cup in the dishwasher. I have to do that every time for you. It's not a big thing. It's a little thing, but it makes a little withdrawal out of that love bank account. And we don't want to keep pulling out. We want to be putting in.
Okay, I don't want you guys to not like me, but when we were first married, I had this habit that I had learned how to clear my throat, making this noise that just absolutely turned her off. It was just repulsive to her. She says, "What are you doing? What
is that?"
And it was very effective for me to do that way. But I learned to not do that because I don't want to drive her away. I want her to be drawn to me. It's just like I was listening to somebody doing a live thing on YouTube today, and they had a particular habit that I had to overlook to keep listening to them. Yeah. You want...
Which I appreciate that you don't make that noise anymore. I grew up in a home where, you know, like we didn't burp at the table. We didn't really burp. I mean, I'm sure we did, but we didn't admit it, kind of thing. Like we did that in private. So my family, we didn't make weird noises like that. I don't know. I'm sure we did other weird things, but that was one thing we didn't. Yeah. And so, you know, when we got married, it was like, what was that, you know? But David's asking a question there. What if it's a lot of things you have to overlook? Sometimes we have to realize that we need to get the log out of our own eye before we try to take this back out of our spouse's eye too. But if it's a lot of things you have to overlook, you might need a conversation. Yeah. You know, and just say, and a sweet conversation. For the good of the marriage, because anytime you're confronting something or looking at something that needs some change in your relationship, you want to make sure that you're asking that change not for just your flesh, not for just what you want, but for the good of your relationship. Yeah. And so we really have to check our motives on that.
And you're going to find out, and we're going to get into this going forward about how to communicate things. But you will find out as you have a conversation about it that the two of you do not see what's happening the same. One person feels a certain way about what the other person's doing, and the other person's not doing that at all. They're just...
you mean assigning a motive to it?
Assigning a motive to it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. I guess basically we have to take it upon ourselves to control what we do. And we can't necessarily control the other person or try to mold the other person into who we think they should be, but we need to take it upon ourselves to do what we can do to change ourselves. So it's kind of like that old example of when you go to the Lord and you're saying, oh Lord, change my spouse. And really what the Lord wants to do is change you. And that's what the prayer should be. Lord, change me.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of the same thing. Let's keep our eyes on what we can do. What we have the power to do is what's in our power to do. That's what we need to think about. I'm not sure if that was a whole sentence. That was kind of chopped up. Sorry about that.
And
but
so
you get the point. We need to look at what we can do.
Yeah.
And not always be judging our spouse.
I know that there's a lot of value in a couple coming to the place where they can tell each other what they like.
Yeah.
Dave asked that question. I think there'd be a lot of value in sitting down and being able to just have a conversation and say, let's talk about cars. Let's talk about something in our life. I really like this. Perfume, cologne. I really like it when you wear cologne. I really like to wear cologne. What do you think about that? Is that a blessing to you? Does that be attractive to you, or is that a turn off to you? All that sort of stuff. This that we're talking about. Keep in mind the whole bank principle that. Okay, two things. Think about this. This is not the agape love of God that we're talking about.
Right.
This is not the unconditional love of God where you, in your heart and choice, are making a decision to do what's best for the other individual, regardless of how you feel about it. Mm-hmm. Okay,
which we always have that.
Always have that,
yes.
And thank God we can always rely on that. We need to always put the other person's best first. But what we're talking about here is almost a chemical reaction or an emotional reaction of how we're drawn to other people who treat us well. How we find certain things in what other people do that we like it. It draws us to them. We like them because of that.
Yeah.
Or we like them less because of that. And the whole love bank thing is what happens when two people get together. They start doing things for each other that make deposits in the other individual's love bank.
Right.
And as they do that, they build up at their account, and it reaches the point where at a certain level, it goes over the top, and that person feels like they're in love with them.
It's the feelings
It's
of
the
in love.
feeling of being in love. And you've gotten there because of you've made sufficient deposits to come to that place. Your emotions have carried you there because they've made deposits so much in your life. What happens then is we stop making deposits oftentimes, or we start making withdrawals. And when you made a withdrawal.
So you probably know the kind of the emotional temperature of your marriage. And listen, we all go through ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
So we all have seasons of our life when our love banks are more full and we're feeling in love and, things are great and we're not touchy and, things are going good. And then sometimes we go into the ebb times where we haven't been paying attention and the temperature's not up, or our bank accounts aren't as full as they should be. So we all have those times like that. So don't, freak out if you're not in that, the high tide tonight, but just set yourself to start caring whether that person likes you or not.
Yeah.
We want our spouse to like us and love us and feel in love with us.
Yeah.
We want that kind of a marriage. We want to have a happy life together. So, we want to make deposits. We want to do things that we know the other person will make us attractive and likable to our spouse.
Yeah. Let me give you an illustration of this just from the movies, okay? Some of you are familiar with the movie You've Got Mail, okay? It's a great,
movie.
Sweet movie, romantic comedy. It's about a guy, a big box bookstore, put Meg Ryan out of business.
Well, who would ever put Meg Ryan out of business?
Oh, Tom Hanks. So anyhow, long story short, they start communicating over email, not realizing at first who they are. And then they they actually start to develop a relationship. She finds out he's the one that put her out of business, but she doesn't know he's the one she's fallen in love with over email. And so she says to him, should we meet? Because she loves this guy. And he really loves her too. And he says, no, not yet. I've got something I'm working on. Well, what he was working on was exactly what we're talking to you about. Over the course of the next time period, he did some things with her and towards her and the way he related to her that won her heart, that won her over to the point where at the end of what's that?
Won her heart to such a degree that when she did realize he was the one, she could overlook this big thing that he did to her.
Even though he put her out of business, she said, I was hoping you were the one. I was hoping it was you. It was incredible. And so you kind of take the temperature of your relationship. In love is that top area where you feel like they can't do anything wrong. Made too many deposits, you drop down into that point of too many withdrawals. Then you start feeling, well, if you're not going to take care of me, so I'm going to take care of me.
Whoa.
And then they can't do anything right. And you keep making withdrawals, and you drop down below another threshold into withdrawal, where you're not fighting, you're not in conflict, things are more quiet. People think that things have gotten better, but no, you just are not engaged anymore. But the good news is you can build that account back up.
Right.
And get that place of being in love.
Start caring whether your spouse likes you or not, loves you or not. Start caring and doing the things that can make deposits into their life. And you know what? You get more of what you appreciate.
Yep.
So just keep appreciating the good stuff about your spouse, and then you do the things that you can do to make deposits into their love bank.
Yeah, just think about it. What have I done? What have I said that they've warmed up to me? They've liked me better. You know, what makes me likable?
Yeah.
And then go there.
Yeah.
The Lord give you wisdom. The Lord help you.
Amen.
And that we have found these things to be incredibly powerful. And the Holy Spirit will help you. He'll really help you if you look to Him. He'll guide you into all the truth.
Yes.
And this is part of it.
Yes.
Hey, we love you guys.
We
Thanks,
do
Brian,
love
for
you.
joining us, and Patty. Thank you
Wanna
for
help you.
being with us. And always a blessing to see your names, Dave. Thanks for asking the question. And we really appreciate you being with us, and we trust you're being blessed. And you guys have a great week. And this is For Better. And we'll see you later. Bye now.
Bye.